Brand New Day is putting a savage, out-of-control Hulk in the same city as Spider-Man, and that raises a genuinely scary question. Not who would win a friendly spar, but this. If the Hulk truly lost control and came for Peter Parker, could he actually kill Spider-Man? Let's break it down honestly. This isn't a hypothetical for fun. The Hulk in this movie is described as bigger and more uncontrolled than we've ever seen him, a monster Banner can't rein in. A Hulk like that isn't looking for a fair fight. He's a natural disaster with fists, and everyone near him, Spider-Man included, is suddenly in real danger. So let's set the tail of the tape. Spider-Man can lift around 10 tons, move and react at superhuman speed, stick to any surface, and heal faster than a normal person. He has the proportionate power of a spider and reflexes that border on precognitive. By any normal measure, Peter is a heavy hitter. Now the Hulk. His strength has no fixed number because it climbs with his rage. He's survived nuclear blasts, regenerated from near nothing, and grown larger and stronger the angrier he gets. Where Spider-Man has a ceiling, the Hulk's ceiling is the whole point. There basically isn't one. So on raw power, this isn't a rivalry. It's a mismatch. Spider-Man's 10 tons is genuinely impressive, until you put it next to a creature that has moved mountains and staggered gods. In a pure strength contest, the Hulk doesn't just win. He wins by a margin most characters in Marvel can't even approach. Which means Peter's power isn't his answer here. His answer is speed and spider sense. Spider-Man is fast enough to dodge attacks he shouldn't survive, and his spider sense screams before a blow ever lands. Against the Hulk, Peter can't trade punches, he can only refuse to be where the punch lands. And they have history. Spider-Man and the Hulk have crossed paths many times in the comics, sometimes as reluctant allies, sometimes as a terrified Peter trying to survive a rampage. Almost every time, the story is the same shape. Spidey cannot beat the Hulk, so the real challenge is not dying while he figures out another way. Their earliest run-ins set the tone. A young, overwhelmed Spider-Man against a rampaging Hulk, and Peter quickly learning that his usual playbook, hit hard and crack a joke, does absolutely nothing here. Every encounter since has been a variation on that first lesson. This is not a foe you beat, it's a force you endure. To his credit, Peter has surprised the Hulk. He's landed hits hard enough to make the Hulk blink, used webbing to slow him, and kept pace with him in a chase that would flatten almost anyone else. Spider-Man is durable and quick enough to be in the conversation at all, which is more than most can say. And don't count Peter out entirely. In one of the most legendary moments in comics, Spider-Man lifted crushing tons of collapsed machinery off himself through sheer willpower, just to save the people he loved. When the stakes are high enough, Peter punches far above his weight. It still isn't Hulk level, but it means he's tougher than his numbers suggest. But here's the brutal truth about durability. Spider-Man can take a beating far beyond a normal human. He cannot take a serious, full-force Hulk punch. A committed blow from an enraged Hulk carries enough force to level a building. One clean hit, square on, and the fight is simply over. That's not an exaggeration. So why isn't Peter already dead in every one of these fights? The spider sense. It's the single reason he survives the Hulk at all. It warns him a fraction of a second before each swing, just enough to twist away from the one hit that would end him. Take away the spider sense, and this breakdown gets very short. Pair that warning with his speed and agility, and you get Peter's survival kit. He can flip off a wall, swing out of range, and reposition faster than the Hulk can reset. He won't outfight the Hulk, but for a while, he can absolutely outmove him. Staying alive is a skill, and Peter is elite at it. But time is not on Spider-Man's side, and here's why. The longer the fight drags on, the angrier the Hulk gets, and the angrier he gets, the stronger and faster he becomes. Every minute Peter survives makes the Hulk more dangerous. Spider-Man is running a clock that speeds up the longer he stays in the room. Can Peter actually hurt the Hulk enough to stop him? Honestly, no. His strongest punches sting, they don't damage. His webbing can slow the Hulk for a moment, but the Hulk simply flexes and rips through it. There is no version of this where Spider-Man outdamages a rampaging Hulk. The math never works. And the comics have shown how close it gets. There are moments where a single grab or backhand nearly ends Peter, where only a desperate dodge or a lucky distraction keeps him breathing. Spider-Man has walked away from the Hulk many times, but rarely because he won, usually because he survived. And remember the ceiling. At his angriest, as the World Breaker, the Hulk cracked New York streets just by walking, and the military feared he could level the eastern seaboard. Against that version, Spider-Man isn't an opponent, he's a bystander trying to outrun a walking apocalypse. The gap becomes almost meaningless. And here's a nightmare wrinkle from modern comics. The immortal Hulk cannot truly die. Kill him and he simply comes back at nightfall, angrier than before. So even the fantasy of Peter somehow stopping the Hulk permanently falls apart. You don't win by knockout against a thing that treats death as a short nap. Now factor in what makes the brand new day version scary. It's savage. A mindless Hulk doesn't hesitate, doesn't reason, doesn't pull punches out of mercy. A thinking opponent might hold back, this one won't. For Peter, that removes the one thing that usually saves him in a fight against someone stronger, talking them down. So what does Peter actually have? His brain. Spider-Man is a genius who turns environments into weapons, webbing to blind, structures to drop, angles to redirect all that raw force. He can't beat the Hulk with power, but he can outthink him, buy time, and steer a mindless monster where he needs it to go. There's also the long game. Peter Parker is a brilliant scientist, the kind of mind that, given time in a lab, could build something to actually contain the Hulk, the way the Avengers have. In a straight fight, he loses, but give Spider-Man prep and a chalkboard and the math quietly starts to shift, at least a little. And that's how Spider-Man actually beats the Hulk in the comics, on the rare occasions he does. Never by knockout. He calms Banner, tricks the Hulk into leaving, leads him away from people, or holds on just long enough for the rage to burn out. Victory against the Hulk means survival and de-escalation. Which brings us to the real question, and it has two different answers. Could the Hulk beat Spider-Man? Easily and quickly. Could the Hulk kill Spider-Man? That's the darker one, and honestly, the answer is yes, with one enormous asterisk. He has to catch him first, and catching Peter is the hardest part, because that's Peter's whole survival. The Hulk's killing blow only matters if it connects, and Spider-Man is built specifically to not be where that blow lands. Spider sense plus speed plus wall crawling makes him one of the single hardest people in Marvel to pin down. The Hulk can end him in one hit, he just has to land it. So the realistic outcome of a serious fight isn't Spider-Man winning, and it isn't a quick death. It's a chase, a desperate, terrifying game of survival where Peter evades, improvises, and tries to reach Banner or an exit before the one hit he can't dodge finally arrives. It's less a fight and more survival horror. Picture that on screen. If the savage Hulk turns on Peter in Brand New Day, it shouldn't play like a superhero brawl. It should play like a monster movie. Spider-Man throwing everything he has just to slow a creature he cannot stop, while trying to keep innocent people out of the blast radius. And we've technically seen the MCU versions share a screen already, briefly, on the same side against Thanos. Brand New Day flips that. Instead of fighting beside a calm Professor Hulk, Peter could be running from a savage one. Same universe, same characters, completely inverted stakes. That's exactly what makes this version so scary. And that's probably the honest role for Peter in a scene like that. Not to defeat the Hulk, but to save everyone around him from the Hulk. Spider-Man's real superpower has always been responsibility, and against an unstoppable force, sometimes the heroic act isn't the takedown, it's making sure no one else gets hit. Because there's only one true way to stop a rampaging Hulk, and it isn't muscle, it's Banner. The fight ends when the man inside the monster comes back, and no amount of punching gets you there. If anyone can reach Bruce Banner through the rage, it's a hero built on empathy, and that's exactly who Peter is. Let's be clear about the tiers, because it matters. Spider-Man is street level plus, a superhuman among humans. The Hulk is World Breaker class, one of the physically strongest beings in all of Marvel. That is several full tiers of separation. Any honest breakdown has to start by admitting the gap is enormous. So here's the honest answer to the question we opened with. Yes, the Hulk could kill Spider-Man. A single, full-force hit would do it, and the savage version has no reason to hold back. The only thing standing between Peter and that outcome is his spider sense, his speed, and his refusal to stop moving. Stack it up. The Hulk. Limitless rage-fueled strength, near total durability, and no mercy. Spider-Man. 10 tons, blinding speed, a danger sense, and a genius mind. One can end the other in a single blow. The other is almost impossible to hit. That tension is the entire fight in one sentence. So could the new Hulk kill Spider-Man? Physically, absolutely, and it wouldn't take much. But he'd have to catch a man designed to never be caught, and even then, the story was never really about winning. Against the Hulk, Spider-Man's victory has always been the same one. Everybody makes it out alive. A monster with no ceiling versus a hero who refuses to go down. If Brand New Day ever puts them face to face, watch it as survival, not a slugfest. Do you think Peter could survive this Hulk? Tell me below and tell me which Brand New Day character to break down next.